We've got the player spotlight on Cole Beasley. We are not at camp, but we follow through with our week one observations about training camp so far. And again, the player spotlight on Cole Beasley, the unrestricted free agent signee for the Bills early on in free agency this year. Beasley, an important signing. You know, it almost his acquisition and his addition to the roster makes me think back to last year and what were the Bills trying to do last year without a Cole Beasley type. You know what I mean? I mean, they tried Zay Jones in the slot. They had a lot of different guys in there, but he seems perfectly suited to that position. You hear, I think, kind of overdone comparisons to, you know, Julian Edelman or even going back a little bit to Wes Welker. I don't know if he's that, but I do think he's a prototypical slot guy who, yeah, it would make sense that his work with Josh Allen will get better and stronger the more they work together. They've had 7 practices at training camp. He did not get a lot of work in the springtime OTAs and minicamp, and I think that's a relationship that will get better the deeper they go into this preseason. I look forward to that, Steve.
Yeah, and Cole, when we first played that sound just a minute ago when he said, listen, Dave, he's talking about Brian Daboll. He has a real knack for using guys where they're really good. You know, him in the slot, letting guys work at doing things that they're really good at. That's really the trend and what a National Football League offense is supposed to be about. You've got these guys, they all have their own skill set, and as an offensive coordinator, you use your creativity and knowledge to put those guys in positions where they do what they do best against defenders doing what they don't do well. That's the idea. And Daboll has been doing it. Now, you think back to last year, look, you brought it up, Murph, what they were trying to do without Cole Beasley in the slot, a guy like that. That's why they weren't very good. They were limited by the talent group they had, by the skill sets that were presented to Brian Daboll. He, you know, how many times can you throw a short fade to Kelvin Benjamin in a game? You know, but basically all of us in Buffalo, that's the only thing the guy did. That's all he was good at, catching a deep ball high down the sidelines. And it was just not enough to give you flexibility in your offense to do other things. He didn't threaten the defense in any other way. Robert Foster, great deep ball guy, but had some things he had to develop in his game. And he was good at catching the deep ball, but he didn't really threaten them in the underneath routes. Wasn't as good in the intermediate stuff. And so on and so forth, all the way down through the receiving core. There were just so many things that Brian Daboll would have liked to do, but he didn't have the skill sets presented to him by his players to do it. Now, he did some things well. I mean, Robert Foster had a 20-plus yard reception, yards per reception or something like that. He was, they did a couple of things really good, but there wasn't enough of it to threaten a defense in enough places to put enough pressure on them to be successful. That's why they struggled to score points. And Cole Beasley's getting right at the heart of it. With John Brown on the field, with Cole Beasley on the field, with LaShawn McCoy coming out of the backfield, with a new and shiny, bright new athletic tight end core if they ever get healthy. All of this stuff is going to give your offense too many weapons that Josh Allen's not going to be able to find somebody. Yeah. And that's the crux of what this training camp is as opposed to last year.
Let's, Steve and I kind of recapping week one of training camp. Cole Beasley we had the spotlight on today.